Okay, so this is a response to the video by Huimundan. Huimundan, I'm sorry, I don't speak Chinese. I guess it's a Chinese phrase or something. And it's the wonder that was a bas le ciel. The wonder that was a bas le ciel, Eisel, Mazard, and his critics. Let's just read the description. Eisel and I still get along. Here we're talking about ancient Greece for an hour in a recent podcast. Okay, so that's like, if you want to watch that podcast, I'll leave a link to this video and you can go and watch it in the description. So I guess he's got podcasts now, obviously not on YouTube.
When you're talking about conspiracy theories, you have to keep in mind how unequal people are. Some people insist that the world is flat. Some people insist that the theory of evolution can't possibly be true. We're not.
Well, she very carefully said the theory of evolution because I think she's actually not stupid. It's a theory. Yeah, and people who say it's definitely not true are kind of dumb. But it is a theory. But she's obviously smart enough to make sure she said that. Let's start again. So really, like, what I want to see with this video is, like, if you remember, like, a Bas Lucille's channel got cancelled, right? And it was, I can't say why it's cancelled, I don't know, but I'm guessing it's because they had, like, some kind of weird breakup thing or troubles in their relationship. And there's lots of these videos on a Bas Lucille channel which were kind of like really pushing the terms of service. If anyone saw them before the channel got deleted, it was going on for like 2 or 3 months or something, and it was pretty dark shit, right? It was kind of bad, and I think that's why they got banned. So I'm interested in this video because this is like his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, or maybe they're back together, I don't know, whatever, talking, I guess, about his critics, right? And I'm hoping talking about why he got banned.
Hello. Hi. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna reply to the horrible.
I will just say, I like the composition and the color scheme. The color scheme might be accidental, but the composition's pretty good. And the audio is really good. I might have fucked the audio up here, but the audio on this video is pretty good.
All things that people are saying about me on Reddit. When you're talking about conspiracy theories, you have to keep in mind how unequal people are. Some people insist that the world is flat. Some people insist that the theory of evolution can't possibly be true. We're not all equal. Maybe you want to believe that with enough hard work and research we could all be equal, but...
I mean, is the world flat? Look out the fucking window.
The reality is that here and now, we aren't.
Hello, and in this video, I would like to talk about abalacea.
So this is like, I get it though, but like they're showing some critic that's obviously a little bit nuts, I guess. That doesn't mean all the critics are nuts.
I know that you deliberately lie about these elements to
yeah, no, this guy's a bit nuts, I guess.
From right-wing politicians and neoliberal capitalist organizations.
But like, you know, I mean, I've been a critic of some of Bastila Ciel's actions, particularly like the kind of videos he was making before he got banned. And I've also been a critic of some of his political outlooks and the way his perspectives on things, but I'm not this guy. And I don't think a lot of the other people that were critics are this guy.
I don't have the evidence on me. However,
I lived with Eisel for 7 years, and I saw directly that the people making up conspiracy theories about him are really, genuinely at an intellectual disadvantage. It's a disadvantage just as stark as when you're looking at conspiracy theories about the Earth being flat.
What conspiracy? I never heard any conspiracy theories about Eisel Mazard. And I've watched him for a fucking long time, like 2016, so also like almost 10 years. I don't remember hearing any conspiracy theories about him.
Worse, in a sense, because this is a guy with a podcast about ancient Rome, videos and essays about Buddhist philosophy, and the main criticism that he's received has consisted entirely of other people's fantasies about his sex life.
And hang on, sorry. I've been watching him for, like I said, almost 10 years. What you just said is not completely true.
Because this is a guy with a podcast about ancient Rome, videos and essays about Buddhist philosophy, and the main criticism...
Like actually, a lot of Eisel's videos have been about the vegan movement, but also about drama, about women, about women in the vegan movement, and kind of very controversial subjects. He might have an interest in Rome and Buddhism, but that may be what the new podcast is about, but his videos are pretty much kind of not that, at least not most of them.
That he's received has consisted entirely of other people's fantasies about his sex life. And it always has, for 10 years, in which he uploaded more than 2,600 videos.
Yeah, this is just a quick video just saying Bastila Ciel is a total scumbag.
Like, to be fair, and I have watched his channel for a long time, he did often talk about his sex life and his sexual conquests and that kind of shit. So like, it's gonna attract people talking about that if that's what he talked about, which he did.
And he probably does harass people on the internet. He probably harasses people, little girls, and just a sour taste. Just a seriously sad person.
These are people who can't appreciate 2,000 videos about politics, history, and philosophy. These are not...
No, okay, like, I think it was more than 2,000 videos, to be honest. Because he was pretty, like, let's say, at least almost 10 years of uploading, a few a week. My maths isn't good, but I think it's more than 2,000. But the percentage of those that were about philosophy and politics and shit was maybe 50%. And the rest was kind of drama shit and vegan and fighting stuff and videos about women, like, or whatever, you know, kind of sort of disrespectful videos about... I've got no problem with it. I think YouTube should be free, but let's not pretend that his channel was all about fucking Aristotle. I mean, come on.
Not people who are sophisticated enough to have a contrasting view on any of the controversies that Eisel made videos about, either as a serious statement or as comedy. These are people who just want to feel morally superior to someone. Anyone. They want to ridicule someone for having a worse sex life than they have themselves. And in Eisel's case, it's really not true. He's been honest and open about his sex life all these years, and he did nothing wrong. What he did was produce videos that made other people feel intellectually inferior, because they are.
You can make a video about an intellectual subject if you want to be intellectual, but you should allow people, I think, to respond. Isn't that the whole point of? I'm not an intellectual, but isn't that the whole point of being an intellectual? Whereas Eisel had his comment section closed forever, and when he didn't have it closed, he'd just delete anything that challenged whatever he'd said in the video. So you're kind of wrong there. I'm sorry.
And it made them feel morally inferior because they are, and they want revenge. I've seen the emails, I've heard the voices of Eisel's critics over the years, and they are really mentally disabled. They often mention directly their diagnosis and disability in the course of talking to Eisel.
Well, it is kind of a truism that, like, if you're on the internet, you're going to attract a lot of viewers. Some of them are going to be fucking mental, and I mean, I've experienced it myself. You get some people that can be crazy.
And of course, it's obvious when they show their faces. People made up the lie that Eisel couldn't speak Chinese and that he never lived in China. They claim.
Okay. He did live in China. Going by his YouTube channel, I've seen it, and I have a video on my channel of him speaking Chinese. So he does speak Chinese.
Claimed that a video that he'd recorded of himself in China was actually recorded at a Walmart in California, and that the signs had been digitally edited to be in Chinese. There were videos of Eisel speaking Chinese. They wouldn't believe it. They loved the made-up story that he was a fraud so much that they disregarded all the evidence and built up this myth around him. The same thing happened in the Durian Rider court case. Eisel showed exactly how the money had been spent, but people just loved the opportunity to claim that he...
To be fair to Eisel, Durian Rider was completely wrong in what he did to Eisel Mazard. Absolutely, completely wrong.
He was a bad person. They love the feeling of being morally superior, and Eisel's videos, even his book review videos, make them feel morally inferior. Aaron Janis is also a useful example.
Who locked me up? Who locked me up? I'll tell you. People who were doing the best they could. That's who locked me up, okay? I was forced medicated because somebody believed that was best for me. I forgive them.
Oh yeah, okay, so this might be one of the women that you talked about, but I seen his channel, man. He used to bully some of these, like, vegan girls, man. I mean, I don't give a shit. It's YouTube. I think you should be allowed to do what you want, but let's not pretend it's all, like, fucking Plato, man.
But I don't want to do it again.
Aaron Janis is crazy. She's been committed to an asylum. Eisel knew how crazy
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
she was. He tried to warn people, and he's hated for it. Aaron Janis herself hates him for it. Eisel's YouTube videos about Aaron were played in hearings to decide whether or not she was sane enough to be released from an asylum. They included evidence of just how serious the extent of her insanity is.
If that's fucking true, that's absolutely terrible. There's no way some videos by Eisel should be played in court to determine somebody's freedom based on... Am I missing something? That cannot be true, surely.
Were played in hearings to decide whether or not she was sane enough to be released from an asylum. Aaron Janis herself hates him for it. Eisel's YouTube videos about Aaron were played in hearings to decide whether or not she was sane enough to be released from an asylum.
Well, it's fucking terrible that was ever played in court if it was, but I don't think that would have been used to decide the sanity or not of somebody, whether they're allowed to be out. The YouTube channels of Eisel Mazard. Let's fucking hope not, or we are living in a dystopia.
They included evidence of just how serious the extent of her insanity is. I've been in the room when Eisel had a private Skype conversation with Aaron. She tried to bully Eisel by making up lies about his sex life, and she also suggested that she and Eisel had some kind of romantic history together, when that wasn't true at all. This is common. People who feel powerless, people who feel stupid, people who feel immoral. They try to go after Eisel.
Okay, like, if I was Eisel and I've got like a big YouTube channel and I've got some woman who's being crazy, like you're suggesting this woman was being crazy, I would not interact with her on any level. I would not reply to any email. I would not do a Skype call or whatever the fuck. Like, if Eisel's smart, he should know not to. If someone's crazy, you just stay the fuck away from them. You do not interact.
For his sexuality. I've seen Aaron Janice do it. I've seen members of my own family do it. They can't debate or dispute anything philosophically or politically, so they just make up lies about his sex life. They make up.
I'm just going to play that last bit, but I'm not going to comment because I'm trying to make this like ethical. You know what I mean? I'm not going to comment about this little part here where she mentions the family.
People who feel stupid. People who feel immoral. They try to go after Eisel for his sexuality. I've seen Aaron Janice do it. I've seen members of my own family do it.
Like, yeah, fuck
They
me.
can't debate or dispute anything philosophically or politically, so they just make up lies about his sex life. They make up stories that he's secretly some kind of terrible person, and none of it is true. And I know. I was in the room with him every day for all these years. I'm the one person who knows what's true. And no matter how many
And this, I respect, like, basically, like, you have to make your own mind up about people in your life, and she's doing that, and I respect that. I got nothing bad to say about that at all. And also, like, you know, if you do have a girlfriend, isn't it good that she stands beside you, especially if she's an ex? So, like, I admire all of that.
times I say what is true and what is false, nobody believes me because they'd rather believe these stupid, made-up stories. Can you imagine how frustrating it is for me? As a 32-year-old...
Like, even if the entire world says that Eisel's a dick, that shouldn't matter to her. It's about whether she thinks he's a dick or not. And if she doesn't, then that's good for her not to think that. So, like, I support this. I support her in this completely.
woman. To have everyone dismiss what I have to say, as if I'm the victim of brainwashing, as if I'm the victim of mind control. They completely ignore what I say. They completely ignore all the evidence. And they just...
Well, the thing with, like, I'm not going to say mind control, but being in a particular perspective, that's how you see the world, and other people might not see it that way.
sit there with their made-up stories. They won't listen to Eisel, and they also won't listen to me. And there is nobody else you can trust. Only two people know the truth, and I am one of them. But nobody cares. If I speak very spontaneously and passionately, they say it's fake. If I break down weeping on camera, they say it's fake.
Okay, so I do agree that people should just respect her opinion about stuff. But some of the content that these guys are making was fictional and fake and exaggerated and fake. And when you do that, when you're misleading or exaggerating shit for your audience, then you can't really turn around and expect them to trust you. That's the thing. Like, I'm giving you guys a benefit of the doubt that some of that content that you guys got banned for, or before you got banned, that was the content. It was a bit exaggerated, it's a little bit fake, it's a little bit fictional and artistic or whatever. But you're being dishonest to your audience, and now you can't really turn around and expect trust from an audience after doing that, right? Here, she says the word fake.
Truth. And I am one of them. But nobody cares. If I speak very spontaneously and passionately, They say it's fake. If I
Yeah, it's like read Aesop's Fables, the fucking boy that cried wolf, you know?
break down weeping on camera, they say it's fake. If I make a carefully scripted video, they'll say that it's fake too. I've seen this go on for years, even when Eisel shows screenshots.
But you guys have presented some of your kind of. It's a little bit like Vegan Cheetah or Charles Marlowe, you know, like if you go and watch his current last content for the last few years, this is kind of like, is it real? Is it not? Is it real? Is it not? Kind of shit. And if he turns around and then tries to say something to his audience and expects to be trusted, no one's going to trust Charles Marlowe. You guys have kind of done the same thing. You can't complain if people don't trust you when you've been playing the game of untruth.
Even when Eisel shows evidence of what really happened and why, even when the truth makes sense, even when Eisel and I both tell the truth consistently, people would rather believe a made-up lie that makes no sense at all. It's crazy, it's incoherent, it's self-contradictory, but that is what they want to believe. It really is like flat Earth theory. The evidence doesn't change anything.
Flat Earth is not about, for the hardcore OGs, right? It's not about the Earth being flat. It's about, is the globe model accurate? Is there any doubts in it? It's more kind of a thought experiment. It's not like what it became later.
My honesty can't help. A lot of mentally disabled people are on psychiatric medications. And a lot of those people hate Eisel.
I think it's like something stupid like 35% of people, adults or whatever, on SSRIs in the UK. It's something insane like that. Look it up.
Because he's made videos discussing the scientific evidence that those psychiatric...
Can I just say, like, I do admire Basta Ciel's critique of the SSRI industry.
medications don't work. This kind of hatred can be really petty, but really intense. Eisel makes people feel bad about their excuses for eating meat, taking antidepressants, and smoking marijuana. They can't make Eisel feel bad about himself by criticizing his work on the politics of Buddhism, or the American Constitution, or ancient Greece, or ancient Rome. So they just make something.
Yes, but the channel was not all about philosophy and politics and shit. A lot of the channel was about drama. I mean, come on.
Yeah. And it's usually about sex because they don't have very much imagination. Look at what happened with Unnatural Vegan. She couldn't deal with any of Eisel's arguments about the philosophy of Peter Singer, about pet ownership, about antidepressants, so she just made things up. Plant-Based News did the same thing. Durian Rider did the same thing. And those three sources alone reached hundreds of thousands of viewers. I've been standing next to him, seeing this pattern again and again, even with things as simple as whether or not he was in China learning Chinese. One side is based on telling the truth. One side is based on telling a lie. Eisel is telling the truth. I am telling the truth. These people just make up a lie that I'm the victim of abuse, when I'm here telling them I'm not the victim of abuse. These people...
Okay, that's fair enough, but the video series that you guys were putting out for like 3 months before you got kicked off YouTube, and I think it was because of that series, was kind of abuse, wasn't it? Like, it seemed like that to everyone else in the world. I mean, I get that it could have been like a little bit artistic or not quite true or whatever, but it was abuse. It's fucking plain and simple. It was fucking abusive. That's why people didn't like it, man.
Durian Rider did the same thing. And those three sources alone reached hundreds of thousands of viewers. I've been standing next to him, seeing this pattern again and again, even with things as simple as whether or not he was in China learning Chinese. One side is based on telling the truth. One side is based on telling a lie. Eisel is telling the truth. I am telling the truth. These people just make up a lie that I'm the victim of abuse, when I'm here telling them I'm not the victim of abuse. These people deny the reality of what I spent so many hours saying. They are fantasists. They can't accept reality. This inequality will never end. It never gets better. This is how the internet has changed. My own father would never make a political statement on the internet because he's afraid. People are afraid to say anything on the internet.
My own father would not have made a video series of, let's call it like fake psychological abuse to his ex-wife or whatever, you know? I mean, I'm really sorry that Bastard Ciel got his channel deleted, but was it not just inevitable with the shit that you guys are putting out?
People just live in fear of this mass of mentally disabled people on Reddit and YouTube. A minority of mentally disabled people have made it impossible for intelligent, well-intentioned people to have discussions about politics, history, anything of intellectual substance. I've been on the internet.
You know, like, a discussion means a two-way thing, so how does that explain the comment section being closed? If you want a discussion, Eisel should have left the fucking comment section open. That's a discussion.
For 20 years. I've seen
Sorry,
how
I'm
it's
getting
changed,
serious.
and I've seen how it's changed people. What happened to Eisel could happen to you. What Dorian Ryder did to Eisel could happen to you.
What Dorian Ryder did to Eisel sucked. And I'm fully on Eisel's side with that shit.
People are afraid to lose 10 years of hard work. It could all be taken away from you just because somebody made up stupid rumors about you on the internet. Being a public intellectual in the face of this kind of hatred.
Yeah, I think like his 10 years of channel getting deleted wasn't because of rumors. I think it's because of the content you guys were making, which was pretty much over the line of terms of service. I'm not going to argue whether those terms of service are correct, but it was like blatantly over the line. I don't think Eisel's channel got deleted because of rumors. I think it just someone at YouTube. I guess people reported the channel, reported the videos too, looked at these fucking videos, and were like, "What the fuck is this shit?" Like, I don't know. It's not rumors. It's like I think anyway, he got his channel deleted because of the content about your relationship that was kind of pretty fucking edgy for YouTube.
It is impossible today. The people who have a lot of time to spend on Reddit, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, they are disproportionately disabled. There used to be a time when people who had families, people who had jobs, people who had active lives, they were online and posting videos to YouTube. That time...
I agree. There is some kind of like, I don't know, like on the internet, on YouTube, on I'm not on fucking Reddit and shit. But yeah, like people have too much time on their hands now. They don't have, what did you just say, like a family and a job, that kind of shit. Like, does Eisel have a job? I don't know.
Time is over. Now, the people who post on YouTube, TikTok, Reddit, Twitter, they're not in school, they're not employed. A lot of these people are getting disability benefits, and a lot of these people are taking psychiatric medications. I've seen these people. I've been with Eisel and read the emails as they've come in. I've listened to the voice messages as they've come in. I've heard him talking with them on Skype. I've seen for myself just how mentally disabled.
And I totally actually think that everything she's saying here is correct. Eisel had a smallish channel, but probably quite a lot of engagement. He cut the YouTube comments but I guess people could contact him on Instagram and shit and Zoom or whatever the fuck. And he will have talked to lots of crazy people. But you don't do that, man. Like, I don't know. I would not indulge crazy people to talk to me.
These people are. You cannot read these statements on Reddit or YouTube with the assumption that these are normal, well-intentioned people. What do you think is the source of these people's information?
But still, the whole thing's like leading down this road of like anyone. It's okay. Yes. Eisel will have had a lot of critics that were fucking insane. That were fucking crazy. That, you know, on medications and had whatever disorders and stuff. That's true. That doesn't mean that anyone that criticized him was that. There's probably a lot of people who criticized him who aren't completely insane or have a fucking diagnosis or whatever. It's like, just because some of your critics are fucking nuts doesn't mean all of your critics are nuts, you know?
Only 2 people were in the room. You heard Eisel's perspective, now you're hearing mine. Anyone who was not in the room is making up a story, and it's not gonna stop. It doesn't matter how many videos I make saying what the truth is. It doesn't matter.
How do we know what the truth is when they had that whole like kind of weird breakup, weird video abuse type series that you did that was also being kind of said to be that it's not completely real? Who knows what's real anymore?
Things as simple as Eisel was studying Chinese. It doesn't matter. There will always be mentally disabled, mentally ill people on the internet making up rumors about your sex life. And that's why nobody wants to be on the internet in 2025.
If I buy like a really stupid fucking hat, right, and I walk down the street and some guy with Down syndrome points at me and says, "Your hat's stupid," right? And then I walk down the street a little bit further and some guy goes, "Hey bro, I just want to tell you your hat's stupid." I can't just say, "Well, yeah, but this guy with Down syndrome said my hat's stupid, so my hat's not stupid." It doesn't work like that, man.
We've lost the optimism of 2015. Nobody wants to be a public figure anymore because they know the price that they'll have to pay. They know what comes with it.
Okay, I'm sorry I got a little bit serious there, but it's just, I just got frustrated with the gaslighting there. I hate that fucking term. With the denial, I got a little bit annoyed with the denial there. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that video. Hope I don't get a fucking copyright strike.